Here we are at the launch of Adria's 2016 motorhome range, and they've got some interesting new models, but crucially they're also celebrating their 50th anniversary, and one of the new models that we'll be looking at is specifically celebrating that anniversary. And we'll be looking at the most important innovations for the coming season, including the addition to the twin van conversion range and a vehicle that competes with van conversions on size but is actually a small coach build. Now, Adria have done well with their van conversions in the UK in the last year, and their range extends to 4 models this season. Let's take a look. Adria's twin range is very well established. It brought the fixed bed van conversion concept to the UK, and now the range goes from the little 500S at just under 5 metres right up to the fixed single bed model at nearly 6.4 metres. Now, the only thing that's been missing in the range up until now is something on the medium wheelbase Fiat Ducato, the 5.4 metre van, and here is the answer, the 540 SPT, the latest version of the twin. It's still a fixed bed model, the smallest of the 3 fixed bed models that Adria offer now in van conversions, but just that bit more manoeuvrable. Now, in the back end you've still got the usual twin barn doors and the usual transverse double bed that the twin instigated with the original 600 model. Now, masses of storage, folding bikes or whatever underneath, and of course if you've got bigger things to carry, the bed base just tips up and attaches to store in a vertical position. Big gas locker, and if you've got heavy loads there's a door that goes round and closes that off so things can't slide forward. Equally, if you've got a long item to carry, it can be slid through. Now, although this is a UK market vehicle with right-hand drive, the sliding door remains on the Continental side. But the plus is that you've got a full height fly screen on that door, so that's a nice touch. You can see this is the conventional European van conversion layout with a half dinette, 2 travel seats there, 4 in total, and the usual kitchen going across the doorway, fixed bed at the back, all the familiar things, but it's all just squeezed in a little bit to get it into a 5.4 metre van rather than the usual 6 metre model. Now, actually, Adria have done a better job of that condensing than many others. The table's still a reasonable size, it's still got a useful pull-out section. The quality is every bit as good as you'd expect from an Adria, and at £38,000 it looks very, very good value. You can also choose between this Titan finish, the grey with these rather nice white locker doors, or alternatively a much more traditional woody type interior. Now, the kitchen's only small and it's got this combined hob and sink unit, but that's quite practical, and better still is that they've left a decent area of worktop. There are much bigger van conversions that don't have a slab of worktop area like that, and also being next to the bed, it's a good bedside table at night. You've also got good sized cutlery drawer and somewhere for all your tins and bottles and that sort of thing. There's not much general storage, but there is a compressor fridge. So you'll probably need to store plates and pots and pans up in these top lockers here. The bed narrows off to one side, but it's a decent length, and you've got nice plastic panelling around the back windows, double glazed windows there as well. And also you'll notice that they've fitted a draft excluder strip between the 2 doors. But the best thing about this Adria is the way that the washroom actually uses the space really, really well. Now, it's not a unique feature, other people have done this, but Adria seem to have done it as well as anybody. These tambour doors simply slide around and enclose the shower tray, which is set into the gangway floor. You're doubling the amount of space in the washroom. Now, slimline coach builds are a growing trend in the market, and the new Adria Compact is just 2.12 metres wide. Let's go and see what you get in a vehicle of that size. Adria has reintroduced the compact model for 2016 in two layouts, this SP, which is 6 metres long or a fraction under, and the SL, which is 6.6 metres and has single beds at the back instead of a double. Both vehicles are 2.12 metres wide, so usefully a good 20 centimetres or so narrower than traditional coach-built widths. And you can see that where the cab and the habitation area join, there's barely any difference in width. This latest model also has a very neat look to it. It's available in a selection of external colours as well, and it's of course a 3.5 tonne motorhome, so it's the sort of vehicle that anybody should feel comfortable driving. As it's Adria's anniversary year, it comes with an anniversary pack which includes things like the reversing sensors and the window in the door and a host of other features. You can also see the latest Adria tail end styling, which is the same from this 45 grand compact up to the big Sonic Supreme A classes. It's also got, although it's only a small vehicle, it's also got a very useful amount of garage storage. So if you want to carry a bike or two, maybe there's lots of outdoor furniture, or if you've got a sport or activity that needs space to store gear, then there's plenty of room in there. Now, the front of this vehicle is all fairly conventional, but it's quite nicely thought out. You've got this little side seat in front of the wardrobe, and although it may not be the most comfortable seat, it does make quite a good footrest. It's also a nice little extra perch if perhaps an unexpected visitor comes. If you're travelling with kids, then although this is only a 3-berth vehicle, it might be one for day trips as well, and you can have Isofix as an option for children's car seats on the half dinette there. Rather like the Perspex surround to the window, nice modern touch that too, and also the table extension is very simple to use, and it's got a nice plastic moulding underneath it, so you're not actually handling the mechanism. Upholstery is neatly finished, and there's lots of light in this vehicle. Just look at the size of that overcab sunroof. That's got to be one of the biggest in its class. And in the evening, I haven't forgotten that you might want to read in these cab seats, because they are probably the best pews in the house. You've got these little reading lights on either side. And because this is a narrow vehicle, Adria have tried really hard to give it a feeling of space. Now, part of that is down to the light colours in here, but also look at these concave cupboards. They really do give an extra feeling of space in the vehicle, but there's still a decent amount of storage inside and height adjustable shelves too. And this vehicle's £45,000, which is a sensible price, but it's competing with van conversions often at more money than that, and yet it's got a little bit extra. Now you can see that this is a narrow bodied vehicle, and if there is a compromise, it's in the distance between the bathroom and the kitchen, but if you're not too largely built, it shouldn't be an issue. You've got a decent sized fridge, plenty of drawer space in the kitchen too, and I like this finish. I mean, you've got this very different dark grey sort of charcoaly effect here, which contrasts nicely with the lighter finish used elsewhere in the vehicle to give more of a feeling of space. Again, these concave cupboards above, and this L-shape combined hob and sink does free up a bit of worktop in a compact space, so that's a very practical touch. On the style side, you've got this nice splashback behind the kitchen too, and again a little spice rack. Now, moving to the practicalities and the bedroom area, as well as the wardrobe under the foot of the bed, which is a very good size, they've really thought about access to the bedroom area. So you've got these flip down steps and a big sturdy grab handle as well. So if your mobility isn't the best, or you've been to the pub perhaps, access to this good sized double bed is very good. Window at one end, reading lights at the other, so that's sensible too. And then there is a very sophisticated TV bracket. Swings right round, so you can have the TV positioned to watch in the lounge, or it can swing round the other way for watching in bed. The washroom also uses its space quite cleverly. Swivel the toilet out of the way and swing this shower door around, and you've got quite a good, almost separate shower. You still have a bit of wet floor, but you have got 2 drain holes in the shower tray, so that's quite a good touch too. Then the wash basin, you might be wondering where that is, and that just flips down from the wall. It's what Adria referred to as an ergo bathroom. Behind that there's a big mirror and also some slim shelved storage, so in all quite a good use of space in there. Celebrating Adria's 50 years from 1965 onwards is their new Silver Collection model. Now it's not a limited edition, but you do get a lot of extra kit on a Matrix SL. Let's see what you get for your money. Now, Adria haven't just been making caravans since 1965, motorhomes since 82, but they've actually been in the UK for 45 years as well, so plenty to celebrate. And this is the result, the Silver Collection, based on the Matrix, and just one, the SL layout with twin single beds over a garage. Now take a look, isn't it a fine looking machine? All silver bodywork with special graphics for this particular vehicle. And what would you guess, 70 grand? 65? No, this vehicle, £55,000 on the road, and that includes everything that you see here apart from that awning. That's a cracking deal. Let's just see what you get for your money. Now, the alloy wheels, they're standard, as are the steps on both sides going into the cab. You get a wide habitation door, so access to the vehicle's nice and easy. And then external shower point. Lovely big garage, 150 kilo maximum weight, things like drain hole, and crucially you get a spare wheel as well. Often that's left out to maximise payload. Look at the back end of the vehicle. It's not a budget vehicle by any means. This is a handsome looking back end for any motorhome, and it includes roof rack and ladder, camera, and even reversing sensors as well. So you're getting all the toys. That sort of spec carries on the inside too. Now, perhaps the most obvious detail that marks out the Silver Collection on the inside is this little logo on the seat. It's a special upholstery for this vehicle. It's a conventional lounge with this single side seat and an L-shaped settee, plus of course the 2 swivel cab seats. But it's nice and light despite the electric drop-down bed over the lounge, because of this really big opening sunroof. So there's plenty of light in the vehicle, and when you do lower that bed, there's a big panoramic roof window above that as well, so if you're sleeping in hot weather, you'll have plenty of ventilation up there. By the door there's Adria's media wall, and the door itself comes with a window and bin as well. Now this kitchen works quite well because of the 3 in-line hob, so you've just got a little bit of extra worktop in front and a tiny bit in the corner as well next to this spice rack. With the cooker lid down, then you can slot in draining board, which is quite practical as well. And there's good range of drawer based storage in the kitchen, and a cupboard under the combined oven and grill as well. On the other side, it's a good sized fridge freezer, traditional width one, not one of the new slim tower fridges, were traditional full width one. And then moving back through the vehicle up a small step, you go into the sort of ablutions area before you get to the bedroom. Now it becomes an ensuite simply by opening the toilet door across, and that blocks off the whole of the back of the vehicle. If you want privacy from the toilet shower area to the bedroom, then there's a pull-out screen rather than a full door. The toilet area I tried earlier, and that actually has a good amount of space. Some of these are quite confined. Once you've actually got this door closed across, there's a very limited amount of space actually on the toilet. The shower's a decent size, and you've actually got a step in there, which actually makes a good seat. There's a hanging rail for wet clothes, always useful when you're camping in the UK. And then, of course, we come to the bedroom. Now, this Silver Collection model only comes with this twin bed layout, and they're high up over that garage that we saw earlier. Steps are a good practical size, no problem with that. And you've got wardrobes behind these tambour doors on each side. So there's twin low-level wardrobes, not suitable for ball gowns, but for most of the stuff you'll take camping, they're fine. Beds are a good length, and if you prefer, you can slot in an extra cushion, and then you could sleep across the vehicle or just use it as more of a double. Or even some people say if you've got a small child that you want sleeping between adult parents, then that is a further possibility. Finally, if you want real comfort at bedtime, these ratcheted tip-up supports mean that you can recline comfortably. Might have to be slightly careful that you don't bash your head on the cupboards, but I've seen a lot worse than this. You've got reading lights, plenty of daylight from these decent sized windows, and quite a pleasant spot to read the Sunday Times. Now, Adria also builds the SunLiving range. SunLiving is its budget brand, comes out of the same factory but lower specification. These are very much entry-level motorhomes. In Europe, they compete with the likes of Sunlight and Corrado from the Hymer Group. In the UK, they'll go head-to-head with things like Eldis and Swift's Escape brand. Now, there's a whole range of vehicles now in the UK. Previously, 2 years ago, this brand arrived as an exclusive deal with one dealership. Now Adria are looking for more dealers for SunLiving from their existing 2. And there'll be this whole range, right through from a 6-metre van conversion up to big overcab family coach builts, 10 models in all. Now they start with this Flexo SP at just $35,995. That's a good £4,000 saving on the equivalent Adria. So let's see why it's a bit cheaper. Now it's all about keeping the specs simple. There's no fancy chrome ring dials on the instruments, no radio, not even a passenger airbag or cab air conditioning as standard. But this is a basic van conversion. It's got the traditional end transverse bed. It's got a decent enough kitchen, good washroom. It's got everything you could possibly expect for $35,000. There's also a Flexo van conversion with twin single beds in the longer 6.4 metre body. If that's too big, how about a little low profile? This Lido model has a transverse bed at the back in a little 6 metre body. Very neat, that one. Then there's a French bed model, or one with twin single beds. And then you move on into vehicles that are still in the Lido range but have an M prefix for their model rather than S. The S ones are just pure low profiles. The M's have a drop down bed over the lounge. Now this particular model at just over $40,000 particularly caught my eye. Now this is the Lido M45 SL, and what a cracking van it is. It's got a massive bedroom area at the back which you could use as twin singles or a double. You even get the tip-up headrest type ends to the beds that you expect on much more expensive motorhomes. Okay, the kitchen doesn't have an oven and a grill, but if you really can't live without, then I'm sure your dealer will fit that for you for a little bit extra. And then look at the lounge area. It's a really good size for a Continental motorhome, and it's got a second bed area, drop down double, that comes down over that lounge. There's a second drop down bed model with a transverse double bed. But then the range is completed with 3 traditional overcab coach builts. One little ditty 6 metre model with a transverse double bed at the back, so actually 2 double beds in that vehicle. At the end we have effectively a much larger version of the same thing, and in the middle this DK layout is the one for families, a real 6-berth in just under 7 metres. Now I called this a 6-berth, but you could actually accommodate 7. There's even a 7th seatbelt, although the last one is just a lap belt. Now those beds, a double bed made from this dinette, a small single made from the smaller dinette on this side, double over the cab, and 2 bunk beds at the back. And look at the feeling of space. You really could have 6, maybe 7 if 3 of them are small, around these 2 separate tables. And if you're a basketball player with a penchant for top hats, then the headroom is adequate still. Big fridge freezer, again no oven and grill, but hey, your dealer could probably fit that. And there's even a separate shower in the bathroom. So the message is clear. If you want well-built, high-quality motorhome in the sort of 35 to 40 grand sector, then SunLiving offers a great choice, from van conversions up to big overcab coach builds. There's only 2 dealers at the moment, but we can't see that staying the same for long. There's bound to be a dealer opening up somewhere not too far from you in the near future. So that's our roundup of the 2016 developments from Adria, and there's some exciting stuff here. The company aims to increase its market share in the UK in the next season, and there's no reason to see why they won't achieve that with vehicles like these. I wonder what they'll have in mind for 2017.